How are you guys? This is Shamrondi from LifeDesignTopics, and I'm getting a title knocked out, okay, because I have tons of topics to talk about, and it gets salacious. It gets salacious, guys. It gets... Listen, what I know is that this is not for the weak. This is not for the faint-hearted, okay? You cannot be somebody who cares. You cannot be an individual that cares about everybody's opinion. Because if you do, you will get nothing done, okay? So this topic that I'm talking about today is going to be about screen time. Screen time for you, screen time for your children, and that falls under the same lines of games, gaming, and programming and things like that, and the cell phone. So you got to be careful. I know that, you know, with us being in a restrictive state, you know, whatever is going on at the moment, okay, which, you know, it's changing soon or whatever the case may be, with your little ones, you got to be careful. It's very easy to put them in front of the screen and put them in front of the tablet. What you should pay attention to, one thing that I recommend, especially if they are like young children, you know, like under the age of like 8 or 7 or something like that, see if you could get them to take a nap during the day. Somewhere in that like early afternoon time, like right after lunch, that 12:30 till like 2 o'clock, or, you know, 12:30 to 1:30 or something like that. You definitely want to get them down for a nap, because what's going to happen is like you're literally going to see, you know, them, they're going to look tired. They're going to look tired, and it has to do with all the constricting of the eye muscles and the screen being too close. It's almost like it's frying their poor brains and their minds. I know there is so much material out here on the market about it, but as much as it's a concern that you need to have when it comes to your children, you need to pay attention to it as well for yourself. Sometimes when you see me with my videos, I have on my pretty blue glasses, right? And I have on my pretty blue glasses because I don't want to be straining my eye. Like, I don't even like this, you know, all up on the screen. Sometimes I forget to come to my desk with it. But, you know, I don't make it a constant habit, okay? I try my best to not be on, you know, the phone late in the evening. I don't even like taking phone calls past a certain time. It's like Auntie shuts the whole operation down, okay? But you have to be careful. Now, with your children, there's other things that you can do. You guys can, if you're a person, you don't want to see them like with slime and those kind of like, you know, Play-Doh and all of that. Blocks could never, ever, ever, ever get old, right? It's sensory. It helps them with their motor skills. It helps them with processing their creativity. Legos. This is why Legos is such a big brand, right? I know Legos are not everybody wants to deal with the Legos. Some people it's the cost, some people it's the mess, right? But get some blocks. Blocks are really, really good, okay? Blocks are my go-to. That's one thing, you know, when I was a little transient at one time, you know, with my children, I kept blocks with me. Absolutely. I kept blocks. I kept a little like play mat that rolls up, and anywhere they went, they could pull out the blocks and stop playing blocks, right? Coloring, they never get tired of coloring when they're under a certain age, okay? So definitely take your time with that. Sometimes it's hard to advise younger parents because they don't realize the harm that they're doing, but it causes even like a static behavior, like a static response in the children when you're trying to, like, you know, take it away from them, give them a break on it. They're like, no, I want my stuff right now, you know, and then you can just have a full-on meltdown, like a bad situation. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful with that. And I recommend that you do something that is very analog, something that's very manual, you know, like let them learn about cards, crossword puzzles, right? And coloring and different kinds of coloring, right? It doesn't have to be like crayons and something like really juvenile. Maybe they're a little advanced. Maybe they want to experiment with pastels, right? Pastels is a great medium. It's, you know, it's a whole different world when it comes to something that's similar to crayons. Yeah, so, you know, write a letter. Like, we have to do all that we can. Like, you cannot leave your children in the hands of technology. Your parents did not come up in the hands of technology. No, they came up at a time where the television, all of the television stations shut off at a certain time. It wasn't this 24-hour go, go, go and completely feed people to the point where they don't even know how to manage their sleep. You got to be very, very careful with that, right? Screen time messes even with your sleep. It's been a constant. I'm getting this complaint a lot. People that I know, I'm seeing educators with this complaint. I'm seeing people that do, you know, manual labor with this complaint. People that, you know, drive all day for a job, all kind of work. And people are having sleeping issues. There's a way to break that, right? And it may include you using something specifically. Like some of it is going to be discipline. The discipline is going to be carving out a time where we start winding down for the evening, okay? And letting our last beverage be some water, or maybe we warm some tea, or we get ourselves some chamomile tea or some sleepy time tea, you know, or some lemon tea or something like that. Maybe a little, you know, melatonin, right? Maybe a gummy of a thing or two. Something that, you know, something that can just like slow the whole evening down. Because we are very wired. We are very wired and alert and thinking about all these things that we have to do today and what's due tomorrow. It's not easy. Melatonin comes in like 3, 5, and 10 milligram. Like individual pieces or quick melt tablets or gummies or whatever the case may be. You can buy them over the counter. You could get them at Walmart. You could get them at the Dollar Tree, for goodness sakes. Okay? If you don't need it right now, don't wait until you need it to have it. If you see it at the dollar store and you go there, or you go into like the Dollar General or any one of these like supposedly cut rate stores. These stores ain't saving anybody any money, but that's a whole nother, I digress. Okay, so consider that. Make sure, you know, pay attention to what your last beverage is. Alcohol may not be the best thing too close to bedtime. Okay, especially if you're having a series of poor sleeping habits. When you have a series of poor sleeping habits, that's the last thing that you should be having is some wine. You probably need a detox. I hope you guys have gotten a toilet stool. There's a video on my channel about that. About the 2 main things that you should do for yourself that you can start today, and it's going to change your life drastically. 1 is starting your day with a large amount of drinking water, and 2 is getting yourself a squatty potty or a toilet stool or something like that that can fit in front of your toilet. So every time you sit on the toilet, you put your feet on the toilet stool. I know men don't like to sit that much, you know, but then that's why their stomachs are as big as they are. Because they don't like to sit on the toilet. They think everything is something that needs to be handled standing up. No. It's not. So then when they get later in age and then they have all these other kind of issues, of course you're having all these issues. All that pressure going on there. Yeah, we got to treat our bodies better. You know, my neighbor will not get his car fixed and he will not stay home. You would think like, oh, maybe he's like an essential worker. No. He is out running the streets and coming back 2-3 times in a day. So you just leaving your house just to leave your house. Anyways, with your car sounding like that, disrupting people's videos. So yeah, I just want to get this video out about screen time. You know, curb it down for yourself, curb it down for your children. If you're a grown up and you've entertained the idea of maybe coloring, that's a great thing. They have everywhere, dollar store, everybody has them. You can even get free PDFs offline, Pinterest. You know, beautiful patterns, things that, you know, make you think of other things that you like. And, you know, maybe it could be children's image, you know, juvenile type photos of cartoon characters or whatever the case may be. You don't have to use crayons if you don't want to. You can use colored pencils. I have a comprehensive set of color pencils because I'm an interior designer, right? So sometimes you kind of like, you know, throw in a little rendering, you know, to give people an idea of what it is that they're looking and talking about. But do not forsake those manual activities, right? And chutes and ladder and dominoes and backgammon, and just take full advantage of exploring all these things that the baby boomers used, and it was fine for them. They survived it, and you know, and all was well in their world, right? All right, guys, have a blessed one. This is Shamrondi from LifeDesignTopics. And feel free to reach out to me if you want us to have a little chat, if you need coaching, life coaching, how to help take care of those little issues that just can't seem to go away, or you're not sure about how to handle, you know, certain friendships, so you want an idea to bounce off of someone. You know, we could talk. You could just send me an email, and then we could discuss the price. I'll send you an invoice, and, you know, and I'll help you as best as I can. All right. Have a blessed one. Take care.